I was grown up before I grew up. Like, I came out and had to be a grown man because life was just, it was tough.
He's the big, charming presence we all know from Gutfeld. Confident, funny, and never afraid to speak his mind. But before the bright lights and TV cameras, Tyrus lived a life full of twists and turns. From battling it out in the wrestling ring to becoming one of the most talked about personalities on late-night television, his journey has been nothing short of inspiring. Yet, for all his bold opinions and larger-than-life personality, Tyrus has always kept one part of his life quietly hidden: his heart. He's a man who doesn't share much about his personal world. But today, that changes. Because today, we finally get to meet the woman who truly captured him. Who is she? How did she manage to win over this strong, outspoken WWE veteran? And what makes her the perfect match for a man like Tyrus? This is the beautiful, heartwarming story of the woman who stands beside him. Not in the spotlight, but right where it matters most, in his heart. Tyrus, whose real name is George Timothy Murdoch, was born on February 21st, 1973, in Boston, Massachusetts. Growing up, life wasn't easy for him. Being biracial came with its own struggles. Murdoch and his brother weren't even welcome in their mother's home because they were part black. Though they eventually reunited, that painful experience left a deep scar on him, one that made him struggle with his identity for years, even wishing he could change his skin color. With his strong build and athletic talent, it wasn't surprising that Murdoch played college football for the University of Nebraska at Kearney, dreaming of becoming a teacher one day. But fate had other plans. A surgery to remove his ruptured appendix damaged nerves in his leg, forcing him to give up football forever. Since then, he's walked with a limp, a lasting reminder of that turning point in his life. In the early 2000s, Murdoch decided to chase a different dream: professional wrestling. By 2006, he had signed with World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, and was assigned to Deep South Wrestling, DSW. There, he created a character named G-Rilla, a street-tough fighter with attitude. But after 2 years, in 2008, he was released from his contract. Instead of giving up, Murdoch took a short break and came back stronger. In 2010, WWE signed him again, this time under a new name, Brodus Clay, a clever twist on rapper Snoop Dogg's real name, Calvin Cordozar Brodus. Funny enough, Murdoch had actually worked as Snoop Dogg's bodyguard before his wrestling fame. That same year, he joined the TV show WWE NXT, making his in-ring debut in December alongside Ted DiBiase, defeating Byron Saxton. Though he finished second in the NXT finale after losing to Curtis, his presence caught everyone's attention. Shortly after, he appeared on WWE TV as the intimidating bodyguard for Alberto Del Rio, keeping his Brodus Clay persona alive. In 2012, Murdoch transformed again, this time into the fun-loving, dance-crazy Funkasaurus. Dressed in bright colors and always surrounded by his backup dancers, the Funkadactyls, he became one of WWE's most entertaining and beloved characters. His funky entrance, energy, and humor made him stand out in the ring. But by 2014, the Funkasaurus era came to an end, when WWE released him from his contract. Still, Tyrus wasn't ready to hang up his boots. That same year, he made a comeback, joining Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, now called Impact Wrestling. Gone was the dancing dinosaur. In his place stood a tougher, more serious fighter, Tyrus. He aligned himself with Ethan Carter III, EC3, and built a reputation as a no-nonsense enforcer and fixer for hire. In 2021, George Murdoch, better known as Tyrus, made a big move by joining the National Wrestling Alliance, or NWA. From the moment he stepped into the ring, it was clear he wasn't there to play around. His strength and charisma quickly set him apart, and before long, he captured the NWA World Television Championship in August that same year. Tyrus successfully defended his title multiple times, proving he was more than worthy of the belt. But soon, he set his sights even higher, the World Heavyweight Championship. To chase that dream, he used the Lucky 7 rule, voluntarily giving up his TV title. His gamble paid off. In November 2022, at NWA Hard Times 3, he defeated Trevor Murdoch and Matt Cardona, claiming the prestigious NWA World Heavyweight Championship, his first ever world title. However, his reign didn't last forever. In August 2023, at the NWA's 75th anniversary show, Tyrus faced EC3, a former ally, in a brutal bull rope match. This match came with a huge risk. If he lost, he would have to retire. Unfortunately, EC3 took the victory, officially marking the end of Tyrus's wrestling career. After the match, he took a moment to thank his family and fans for standing by him through it all. Even though his time in the ring ended, Tyrus's story was far from over. His success in wrestling had already caught the attention of Fox News host Greg Gutfeld, who saw something special in him. Back in November 2016, Gutfeld invited Tyrus onto the Gutfeld Show as a guest commentator. His first appearance was a hit. Viewers loved him, and Gutfeld did too. Soon after, Tyrus became a regular guest, appearing twice a month under his well-known stage name. From there, Tyrus's media career took off. He appeared on several Fox News programs and quickly became a familiar face on the network. His dynamic presence and humor earned him the nickname Gutfeld's Giant Sidekick. But his work didn't stop there. Tyrus also became a contributor on The Daily Briefing with Dana Perino, and even hosted segments like Un-PC on Fox News. He later launched Enough Said on Fox Nation and hosted the debut episode of Fox News Saturday Night in 2023. The following year, he expanded even more, launching a new series on the Outkick streaming platform called Maintaining with Tyrus. Despite his packed schedule, fans began to wonder, how did a man this busy manage to find love? Well, the answer is just as interesting. Behind Tyrus's tough and towering appearance is his beautiful wife, Ingrid Renck, a woman who's every bit as equal, just in a different way. While Tyrus is big and powerful, Ingrid is slim, elegant, and full of quiet strength. Don't let her looks fool you, though. She's an accomplished woman in her own right. Born on April 24, 1981 in the U.S., Ingrid grew up in a supportive family that encouraged her independent spirit. From a young age, she had a sharp business mind and a passion for fitness, two things that would later shape her career. It was only 15 when she stepped into her very first fitness class, and that single moment changed everything. It sparked a deep passion for health and fitness that would shape the rest of her life. Only a year later, she was already leading her own fitness classes, laying the foundation for what would become a lifelong career. Her hard work and commitment soon paid off. She earned several fitness certifications, proving not only her skill, but also her deep understanding of the human body and wellness. Over time, she became known as a true expert, helping people reach their best shape, whether it was building muscle, losing weight, or simply living a healthier lifestyle. Instead of going to college, Renck trusted her instincts. She decided to turn her passion into a business. With a mix of hands-on experience and dedication, she created her own fitness brand, the Renck Routine, which focused on a complete, balanced lifestyle. During a 2022 guest appearance on Ask Dr. Andrew, Renck explained that the Renck Routine wasn't just about workouts. It was about your daily habits. What you do every day becomes the outcome of your life, she said, perfectly capturing her philosophy on discipline and self-improvement. But in a surprising turn, she later shared on Instagram that she no longer wanted to use the name Renck Routine. She explained that she didn't want to be tied to Renck anymore, saying the name no longer represented who she was. Taking a break to reflect, she admitted she missed teaching,
leading and choreographing, and even asked her followers to help her come up with a new name for her brand. Her choice to follow a fitness path wasn't shocking. She'd always loved health and movement. But what might surprise you is that her other successful business came from something deeply personal. More than 10 years ago, she launched Sensible Meals, a meal prep company designed to help people make smarter food choices and improve their nutrition. The idea came from her son, Rock, who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Back in 2018, she told Sophisticated Woman magazine that she started preparing portion-controlled meals to help manage his condition. Her friends quickly noticed how effective the meals were and began asking her to prepare the same for them. Before long, what started as a mother's care for her child turned into a thriving business. Of course, building that success didn't come without challenges. She admitted that there were moments when she didn't have all the tools she needed, but she never lacked passion or determination. Quote, "I didn't always have the right tools, but I've always had genuine love for what I do and the people I help. I want my kids to see that with passion and drive, you can accomplish anything." End quote. Today, Ingrid Murdoch is not just a fitness expert and entrepreneur. She's also a devoted mother. She shares a son named Rhett with her husband, wrestler Tyrus, whose real name is George Murdoch, and he has 2 other children from a previous marriage. Despite their public careers, both Ingrid and Tyrus prefer to keep their personal lives private. Still, it's known that their relationship goes way back, at least to 2014. And in 2020, Tyrus finally proposed. Murdoch couldn't stop praising his wife when he announced their engagement. He called her his everything and said she deserved the best life possible. To steal the moment, he gave her a stunning emerald engagement ring. But even with all the love between them, it took another 4 years before they finally got married in January 2024. According to Clark County records, the couple officially registered their marriage license on January 6, 2024. Murdoch had been referring to her as his wife for years, but this time it became official. The two were known for constantly supporting each other's careers. They often show up together at public events, always cheering each other on. When Murdoch was crowned King of Mardi Gras in 2022 by the New Orleans-based crew of Orpheus, his wife, Ingrid, stood proudly beside him. Fans also spot them at concerts from time to time, like when they attended a Smashing Pumpkins show in New Orleans. After that concert, Ingrid posted on Instagram about how Murdoch took time to meet his fans, something that made her both proud and amused. She admitted, though, that his popularity sometimes makes it hard for them to enjoy quiet date nights. Ingrid has always been by her husband's side, even on his professional journeys. She joined him on his 2022 book tour for his memoir, Just Tyrus, and again during his comedy tour that same year. Through every high and low, Ingrid has stayed true to her vows, especially during tough moments. One of those hard times came in 2019, when Murdoch was hit with a sexual harassment lawsuit filed by his former Fox News co-host, Britt McHenry. She accused him of sending her inappropriate text messages. Fox News stated that the issue was investigated and resolved internally, but McHenry went on to file a lawsuit against both Murdoch and the network in December 2019. The case was dismissed 2 years later with a private settlement. McHenry later claimed she had lost the phone that supposedly contained the texts. The incident took a toll on Murdoch's family. It brought stress and unwanted attention. In December 2022, Ingrid broke her silence on social media, writing, quote, "The trauma my family has endured this past year is too much to even share. But one thing I've seen is my husband becoming an even stronger leader for his family. Whenever he saw me struggling, he would send me and our daughter away to heal and find peace." But if you think Ingrid's only focus is her husband and their daughter, you'd be wrong. She manages much more behind the scenes at home. Murdoch has long referred to her as the queen of his wild little kingdom, which he finally calls his Tyrusilla Zoo, and it truly lives up to the name. Murdoch isn't just a former WWE wrestler. He's also a passionate animal lover. Their home is filled with creatures of all kinds, exotic fish, snakes, lizards, turtles, and even chameleons. When Ingrid first talked about it, she admitted she wasn't a big fan of animals, especially reptiles. But out of love for her husband, she decided to embrace his world. "I think it's not the animals I dislike, it's people," she once said with a laugh. Even though she wasn't into animals at first, Ingrid eventually took charge of caring for them all. Today, she proudly serves as the animal curator of their home, managing every creature in their personal zoo with care and patience. Thanks to Ingrid, life in the Murdoch household took a big turn for the better, especially for their beloved pets. She went all out to make sure they lived comfortably. Believe it or not, she even played sounds of rain and thunder at night to help the animals mate, something she picked up from an online tip. Later, she laughed about how easy taking care of the animals became, joking that her secret was simply bossing everyone around to get things done. Of course, she's got a solid team helping her out, her family. Their daughter Georgie takes charge of playtime and bath time with the animals, while her brother Rhett handles the tougher jobs like cleaning and feeding. Rhett's girlfriend also plays her part, keeping the tanks, cages, and enclosures spotless. And then there's Ingrid's husband, Murdoch, who couldn't be prouder. He often praises her for her incredible management skills and says his health, both physical and mental, has improved 1,000% since she started running the show. It's safe to say that Ingrid Murdoch is a true superwoman. Together, the couple shares a daughter, Georgie Rose, born on May 7, 2014. Named after her father, Georgie grew up in Louisiana before the family relocated to New Jersey in 2024. Much like her dad, Georgie's got a sporty spirit. She's an avid horse rider and even has her own horse named Roosevelt, nicknamed Teddy. That same year, she entered her first horse riding competition and proudly took home the win. But Georgie's not just about horses, she's also into soccer. Meanwhile, Murdoch's other kids are following their own athletic paths. His son is passionate about baseball, and one of his daughters has developed an interest in golf. Before Georgie came along, Murdoch had 3 other children from previous relationships, 2 daughters and a son. His son, whom he lovingly calls Kakarot on Instagram, turned 13 last year. His daughters, both born in 2011, are now 14 years old. Though Murdoch is outspoken on many topics, he's always been private about his children. In his autobiography, he deliberately avoided sharing details about them, explaining that it's their story to tell. He's honest about his past mistakes and admits he didn't have the best example of parenting growing up, but he refuses to let that define the kind of father he is today. Whenever he can, Murdoch visits his kids, and every goodbye still stings. He says he misses them deeply every time he leaves. On Ingrid's side, she also has 2 sons, Rhett and Rock, whom Murdoch loves and treats as his own. Though he keeps them away from media attention, he often brings his kids along to his stand-up comedy shows. When Murdoch retired from wrestling in 2023, it was a bittersweet but fulfilling decision. He'd already decided that family time mattered more than fame. He shared on the Sage Steele show how he once asked his kids if they wanted him to keep wrestling or be home to watch their games. Their answer was instant: "We want you at the games." And just like that, he hung up his boots for good. Today, Murdoch says he's still learning what it means to be a dad. But one thing he's certain about is his commitment. He'll always show up for his children. He proudly admits his daughters are much smarter than he ever was, and that his kids pick up life lessons faster than he did. In one of his most heartfelt interviews on Piers Morgan Uncensored last year, Murdoch opened up about one of his children being part of the LGBTQ+ community and identifying as trans. He said his child is going through therapy and figuring things out, but no matter what, his love and support are unwavering. "Whatever my child wants to be," he said, "I'll be right there, always." And that's the heart of Tyrus Murdoch, the man behind the fame, the humor, and the wrestling career. A husband, a father, and a man still learning, but loving every step of the way.